If I would say to my younger self, do not be defined by this moment that happened to you in that exam.
In the world of royalty, where tradition always reigns, Princess Beatrice's revelation of her new baby has set the media on fire and left Buckingham Palace in shock. Although this wasn't Princess Beatrice's first child, and she hadn't given birth to a son this time, no one could stay quiet on what she had just revealed. Was she even meant to disclose something like this concerning her baby, knowing she is a royal? Join us as we uncover the story that's left Buckingham Palace in shock. Princess Beatrice shocks Buckingham Palace with baby announcement. Princess Beatrice and her husband, Edoardo Mozzi, have announced the birth of their second child, barely 9 months after revealing they were expecting a baby. This was surprising and unexpected since Buckingham Palace had announced in October that the couple were expecting another baby. Yet suddenly, the baby was born, barely 4 months after the announcement. Why was this so? This announcement has left everyone in shock, especially Buckingham Palace. This has led to countless speculations and rumors all around the UK. But what really happened? Keep watching as we uncover the true story. Buckingham Palace had initially announced that Princess Beatrice was due to give birth in early spring. However, she gave birth much earlier. While the princess's exact delivery date wasn't disclosed to the public, it was obvious that she had given birth to a premature baby. However, it was later revealed that this wasn't unexpected, as the doctors had warned Princess Beatrice of some potential birth complications that could happen during the pregnancy. To ensure her well-being, Beatrice was advised to avoid stressing herself in any way and preferably stay at home to rest. During Christmas, the princess and her family had to make new Christmas plans as the doctors advised her against traveling. Instead of their usual visits to Edoardo's parents in Italy, they decided to spend Christmas in the UK. They celebrated it at Buckingham Palace at the monarchy's traditional pre-Christmas feast, and later went to Sandringham Estate on Christmas Day. Less than a month later, the unexpected happened. Princess Beatrice gave birth to her second daughter, who was allegedly 4 months early, based on the announcement made in October. King Charles and Queen Camilla's office announced the baby's birth a week later, with a statement on social media, and this was met with congratulations. But it also raised questions in the minds of the public. Buckingham Palace statement read, "Her Royal Highness Princess Beatrice and Mr. Edoardo Mozzi are delighted to announce the safe arrival of their daughter."
Princess Beatrice and her husband Edoardo have welcomed their first child, a baby girl.
Athena Elizabeth Rose Mozzi, born on Wednesday, January 22nd at 12:57 p.m. at Chelsea and Westminster Hospital, London. However, to address the various speculations surrounding the new baby, an additional statement was added explaining the details behind Princess Beatrice's early birth. The baby was born weighing 4 pounds and 5 ounces. This birth weight was significantly lower than expected. According to the National Health Scheme, the average weight of a baby at full term, 37 weeks, was between 3 to 4 kilograms, up to 8.8 pounds. While Athena's birth came as a shock to everyone, the royal family, however, was excited to welcome another royal family member, most especially Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, who were Athena's grandparents. Following the announcement by Buckingham Palace, Edoardo posted a heartfelt message on the birth of his daughter. He wrote on Instagram, "Athena Elizabeth Rose Mozzi." He then shared the same picture Buckingham Palace had released and wrote, "We welcomed baby Athena into our lives last week. She is tiny and perfect. We are all, including Wolfie and Sienna, already completely besotted with her. Our hearts are overflowing with love for you, baby Athena." He also expressed gratitude to the wonderful staff at the Chelsea and Westminster Hospital for their exceptional care and support towards his wife and daughter. The post included a picture of baby Athena raising a hand to her face while dressed in a white outfit, snuggled up in a pink blanket as someone held her. Although born prematurely, the baby turned out to be healthy. Aside from the unusual circumstances surrounding her bath, her name also carried significance. The name Athena was inspired by the ancient Greek goddess of war and wisdom. Her middle name, Elizabeth, was in honor of Queen Elizabeth and also had a special connection to her big sister Sienna, who also bears the same name. While the meaning behind the rose has not been publicly disclosed, the rose flower tends to signify beauty, passion, and love. Since the first official picture on Instagram, baby Athena's picture wasn't released again until 2 months later. What was this new picture about? And had Athena's early birth affected her? Stick around to find out. Reflection on Athena's birth. 2 months after Athena's premature birth, Princess Beatrice opened up about her experience with preterm birth. She reflected on her pregnancy journey on Mother's Day for British Vogue. She began by noting, "Nothing prepares you for the moment when you realize your baby is going to arrive early." She explained there was little you could do to help control the situation, except be left with thousands of questions running through your mind, like, will the baby be born healthy? Will there be complications? How do you manage your family while still trying to keep your tiny human safe? Beatrice admitted that these questions weighed heavily on her mind, even though she knew she was surrounded by the best medical professionals. But one thing was uncertain: what would happen next, and how would things turn out? Princess Beatrice revealed that the fear of the unknown left her overwhelmed. Unlike her first pregnancy, which was a smooth one, this one was filled with many lessons. Beatrice continued that early routine scans had revealed that the baby needed close monitoring, and also informed them to expect an early arrival. Beatrice described the whole process as humbling, as it helped her to understand a lot of things concerning the human body that she hadn't been aware of. She also stated that women's health has been left off the global agenda, and that despite the precautions that one takes during pregnancy, preterm birth can still happen. This calls for more attention to be directed towards women's health. Beatrice also appreciated the knowledgeable doctors, midwives, and nurses who continued to make progress every day toward understanding the unique complications that can accompany a preterm pregnancy. Despite having a great team of healthcare practitioners, Princess Beatrice kept worrying about what could go wrong before and after delivery. She feared giving birth to her baby too early, and her fears happened. Athena was born a few weeks before her due date. In her own words, Beatrice described Athena as so tiny, and it took weeks for the tears of relief to dry and for life with their healthy baby to feel real. As she and Eduardo watched Athena get neonatal care, she recalled that Athena's feet were so small, almost the same size as her daughter's bunny paws. However, today Princess Beatrice is happy to share with the public that Athena is healthy and growing strong with each passing day. Additionally, Beatrice admitted that she still doesn't know what caused the preterm birth, as she wasn't given a precise explanation. However, this experience had ignited a passion in her to join the fight against preterm birth. Beatrice is determined to find answers to the questions she asked herself during her pregnancy. She also wants to help others find answers to the complications that can lead to preterm birth. Currently, Princess Beatrice is now a patron of Born, an organization dedicated to ending preterm birth, as her journey has given her a sense of purpose for this cause. She also stated that with her own experiences as a preterm mum, she wants to reassure families whose babies might arrive earlier than the due date that they are not alone. She and others are working tirelessly to ensure that preterm births are reduced and that every premature baby receives the best medical care, just like Athena did.
In all of the work that I'm doing, I want to make sure that young people feel like they have the tools. It is such a great tool for access.
Athena's preterm birth left a lasting mark on Princess Beatrice, and rather than being defeated by the situation, she turned it into a vision. The public reacted positively to Princess Beatrice's journey with preterm pregnancy. Many praised her for her bravery and honesty, acknowledging that no one is excluded from having a preterm baby. Other women also came forward to share their preterm birth experiences. While the royal family isn't familiar with preterm births, Athena is not the first royal baby to be born prematurely. It has happened before. Wondering who was born preterm? Stay tuned to find out. On November 8, 2003, the Countess of Wessex, Sophie, gave birth to a preterm baby Lady Louise. Louise was born 4 weeks before the due date, weighing 4 pounds and 9 ounces, 2 kilograms. Louise's birth came with several complications as Sophie suffered significant blood loss due to internal bleeding during her birth. As a result, she had to be taken to the regional neonatal unit at St. George's Hospital, Tooting, while Sophie had to remain 35 miles away in Frimley Hospital, Surrey, for another 16 days. However, when Buckingham released a statement, they didn't mention anything about the preterm baby. Instead, they said both mother and daughter were stable and described the hospital transfer as a precautionary measure. However, in 2015, Duchess Sophie revealed that her daughter was born preterm. Speaking at the launch of the film A Life with Sight, which featured premature babies suffering vision problems, Sophie recalled how Louise was born with a vision impairment. In a heartfelt speech, she shared that whenever she saw preterm babies, it took her back to those early days when she had her baby. She described how she had been shocked by Athena's early arrival, as everything had seemed fine, and the realization that her child would have an eye condition they would have to manage broke her heart. Lady Louise was born with a condition called strabismus, where the eyes cannot align properly. This condition is common in preterm babies, and Louise had it. According to Sophie, babies often have squints because the eyes are one of the last things to fully develop. But how true was this? Although Louise now has perfect vision after undergoing surgery to correct her squint in 2013, Buckingham Palace never officially confirmed the procedure. They remained quiet without updating the public on Lady Louise's surgery. However, it was evident she had the surgery as her squints were no longer noticed when she accompanied her parents to a day of racing at Royal Ascot. Her eyesight had been corrected and her eyes aligned perfectly. While there has been no news about Athena suffering from any effects of premature birth, one can only hope that she isn't. But what are the chances that she isn't facing any birth-related complications? Just as Duchess Sophie's experience with her daughter's eye condition inspired her to become a patron of the International Agency for the Prevention of Blindness and a global ambassador for Vision 2020, an initiative aiming to eliminate avoidable blindness, Princess Beatrice's experience with Athena's preterm birth has led her to get involved in some charitable acts. Let's take a look at them. Princess Beatrice's charitable acts. Since Athena's birth, Princess Beatrice has been involved in charitable work closely tied to what her daughter faced. She became actively involved with Born, a charity dedicated to ending premature birth and funding research into its causes in the UK and across the world. To mark her new role with Born, she made her first public appearance with her husband on March 6th, attending Born Charity's Wonderland Gala at the Victoria and Albert Museum. She shared that this initiative was incredibly personal to her, given Athena's birth. She also highlighted that over 60,000 babies are born prematurely each year, with little information or research explaining why. This lack of knowledge is why she is committed to supporting Born and its groundbreaking research on preventing preterm births. Professor Mark Johnson, the founder of Born, expressed gratitude for Princess Beatrice's dedication, stating that her support would be instrumental in raising awareness and advancing efforts to prevent premature births. Beatrice is now one of Born's patrons, but she didn't stop there. She extended her advocacy to another meaningful cause similar to this. Princess Beatrice also collaborated with her friend Alice Naylor Leyland to create a new baby shower collection for Mrs. Alice called the HRH Princess Beatrice Baby Shower Collection, a pastel-perfect line of party wear under the Mrs. Alice brand. But the collection is more than just pretty plates. It raises funds for Born, supporting research and awareness for preterm birth. Beatrice revealed that the idea for the collection came from late-night discussions about fertility, surrogacy, pregnancy, and motherhood. During the launch, 2 framed photos of Athena were spotted among the collection. One was her preterm baby picture, originally shared on Instagram, after her birth, and the other showed Athena in the same outfit and blanket, cuddled up next to a plush bunny. the very bunny Beatrice mentioned when she described Athena's feet as being almost the same size as its paw. In an Instagram post announcing the launch, Beatrice and Alice posed in front of a stylishly decorated table filled with charming baby shower details. Think blue and pink wicker frames, delicate florals, and soft bunny toys. Framed photos of baby Athena were also included, sending a clear message about her involvement in this meaningful cause. Since Athena's birth, very few public photos of her have been released, and updates about her have been scarce. Beyond Beatrice's work on supporting preterm babies, she has been actively involved in numerous other charitable efforts. From a young age, as early as 18, Beatrice expressed her desire to use her position as a princess to assist others through philanthropy. Though she had already been involved in charity work alongside her mother, Sarah Ferguson, she wanted to pursue something personally meaningful. Ever since then, Princess Beatrice has been driven by passion to help those who are in need and unable to help themselves. Let's uncover some of the ways Princess Beatrice had achieved this. In April 2010, Beatrice broke royal tradition by becoming the first member of the royal family to complete the London Marathon. However, she didn't do this just for personal achievement. She ran to raise money for Children in Crisis, an organization supporting children with life-shortening conditions in West Yorkshire and North Manchester. In 2011, during the wedding of her cousin, Prince William, Beatrice wore a striking fascinator that caught the public and media's attention. The hat became one of the highlights of the wedding, with many people expressing interest in owning it. The following month, Beatrice made an unexpected decision. She auctioned the fascinator on eBay for €81,000. The money was donated to UNICEF and Children in Crisis, signifying her unwavering dedication to supporting those in need. In April 2013, she became the royal patron of the Helen Arkell Dyslexia Center, a charity that she credits with helping her overcome her academic challenges resulting from dyslexia. In 2016, Beatrice, her mother, and her sister Eugenie collaborated with British contemporary artist Teddy MacDonald to create the first royal contemporary art painting, titled Royal Love. This masterpiece was exhibited and sold in London, with proceeds benefiting a cause dear to her heart, Children in Crisis. In 2017, Beatrice promoted the anti-bullying book Be Cool, Be Nice, where she shared her experiences of being bullied for her fashion choices during her early adulthood. She also encouraged people to not be afraid to stand out. In 2018, Children in Crisis merged with Street Child, a global children's charity. Recognizing Beatrice's commitment, she was named the organization's ambassador. Throughout Beatrice's philanthropic work, her selfless love for children stands out, as most of her initiatives focus on children's well-being. Moving away from Princess Beatrice's philanthropy acts, let's look at Princess Beatrice's background. Princess Beatrice background. Princess Beatrice Elizabeth Mary was born on August 8, 1988, to Prince Andrew, Duke of York, and Sarah Ferguson. After her birth, her parents delayed announcing her name for about 2 weeks, which was unexpected, as royal names are typically revealed sooner. Their choice of name was unexpected, and it raised some questions during Beatrice's birth. Meanwhile, when Beatrice was 7, her parents divorced but agreed on joint custody. Despite their separation, they maintained a close relationship, frequently traveling with their children and co-parenting effectively. Beatrice attended Upton House School in Windsor for her early education and later enrolled at St. George's School in Ascot in 2002. However, she faced challenges in school due to her dyslexia, which was diagnosed at the age of 7. Reading, writing, and spelling were difficult for her as she struggled with processing the phonological components of language. As a result, she delayed taking her GCSE exams by a year, but when she did, she passed. This experience motivated her to become a patron of the Helen Arkell Dyslexia Center, as they had helped her manage her learning difficulties. In 2008, Beatrice pursued a degree in history at Goldsmiths, University of London, graduating with a 2:1. Wanting to gain work experience, she took on various roles, including working as a sales assistant at Selfridges and interning at the Foreign Office's press office, without receiving a salary. She later worked as a paid intern at Sony Pictures before eventually resigning. Princess Beatrice then moved to New York City, where she took on a full-time role as Vice President of Partnerships and Strategy at Affinity. In 2020, she married Edoardo Mapelli Mozzi, an Italian aristocrat and her longtime friend. Let's take a look at their relationship. Princess Beatrice and Edoardo were longtime family friends before they started dating. Their parents had known each other for years, which made their relationship flow smoothly. However, before getting together, both had been involved in long-term relationships. From 2011 to 2016, Beatrice dated Dave Clark, but their relationship ended because he was uncertain about marriage. After nearly a decade together, Beatrice felt she had wasted her time as she wanted to settle down. They briefly went on a break to reconsider their future, but the relationship hit rock bottom as Dave was spotted at dinner with a woman named Lynn. But it didn't end there. Less than 20 months later, he proposed to Lynn, confirming that his relationship with Beatrice had ended. At the same time, Eduardo was engaged to his fiancée, Dara Huang, with whom he shared a 2-year-old son, Christopher Wolfe. However, their engagement also ended as things weren't working for them. This gave Beatrice and Eduardo a chance to meet and reconnect. This was easy as they moved in the same social circles, and mutual friends reintroduced them again. They began spending more time together, but at first, they kept their relationship private. Close friends were aware, but it wasn't until a palace insider revealed to the media that rumors about their romance started to circulate. However, there was no evidence until December 2019, when Beatrice and Eduardo confirmed their relationship publicly. Meanwhile, Eduardo's ex-fiancée, Dara, took to Instagram to express that she was moving on and focusing on the future. Unbothered by the past, Beatrice and Eduardo made more public appearances together, signaling their serious intentions. On September 26th, Buckingham Palace officially announced their engagement. A royal wedding was in the making, but due to the COVID-19 pandemic, their wedding plans had to be postponed. However, on February 7th, 2020, they rescheduled their wedding for May 29th, 2020. However, the pandemic led to another change of plans. Eventually, Beatrice and Eduardo had an intimate wedding ceremony on July 17th, 2020, at the Royal Chapel of All Saints at Windsor. But not only did Beatrice marry Eduardo, but she also embraced his son, Christopher Wolfe, as her own. Dara Huang later praised Beatrice and Eduardo for how they were raising Christopher, emphasizing that he was surrounded by positive influences, making co-parenting easier. Over the years, Christopher has been photographed attending royal events and fully integrated into the family. Aside from Christopher, Beatrice and Eduardo have welcomed 2 daughters together. In October 2021, they had their first child, Sienna Elizabeth Mapelli Mosey. Then, on January 22, 2024, they welcomed their tiny preterm baby, Athena Elizabeth Mapelli Mosey. While no pictures of Athena have been publicly released since her birth, and little is known about any potential complications related to her premature birth, one thing is certain. Her arrival has already inspired her mother to take action in supporting causes that help preterm babies. And we can only hope that she won't have the effects of being born as a preterm baby. What do you think of Princess Beatrice's announcement on baby Athena? Have you ever had any experience with a preterm birth? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. Don't forget to like, follow, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click on the next video on your screen. You will enjoy it.